and I shall raise them up and anoint them. I'll send them forth to do exploits in my name. Volunteer your soul, body, and spirit and mind, and cry out to the Lord, here I am, send me. I will lay hold upon you, and I will anoint you, and I will open doors for you, and I will stir your heart, and you will know me, and you will know my voice, and I will use you to glorify my name. You will never have a name, but my name will be glorified through your lips and your heart. You'll never be recognized, but I'll recognize you. And on that day, I will reward you because you were faithful to the call.
We have a couple goals for the hearing in our investigation and our need to do our constitutional duty. One, the FBI needs to produce its full investigative file to the United States Congress. And I mean the full file, not just the parts the FBI deemed relevant. Right now we only have the 302s handpicked by the FBI. We decide what's relevant, not the Department of Justice, not the FBI. We're entitled to the full file. Two, all unclassified portions of the file should be released to the public as quickly as possible. It has been more than 20 days since I'm sure the very first FOIA request was put out there, and by law that should be out there. It's unclear to me how the FBI can prevent a member of Congress from seeing what we're already allowed to see by law. We had legitimate questions. We did have this plan for last week. We did have more than 12 members of the Congress show up to have that briefing, and none of you showed up. That's inexcusable. You're the congressional affairs officers. It's your job to talk to Congress. And for some of you, I had to threaten to send a subpoena just to get you to appear today. We did some math. We got 70 of you sitting here. Between your compensation and your benefits package, you make more than $1 million from taxpayers. Taxpayers are paying you more than $1 million. And you won't even come talk to Congress. What do you do all day if you don't talk to Congress? That's your job. So we're going to do that today. And the irony here is we're trying to protect the classified information. I didn't create this mess. Hillary Clinton created this mess. See, I believe passionately in the role of Congress. I believe passionately in the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. We were founded in 1814. Every expenditure, everything we do in this Congress, or everything we do in this nation is supposed to be overseen by us. We can investigate anything at any time. That's what's different about the United States of America. We're different because we are self-critical. We do go look under the hood. We do hold people accountable. That's why when Abraham Lincoln joined the United States Congress, he was on this committee. And he peppered the president because he didn't believe that the Mexican-American War started as the president said it was. And there's been a rich history of that throughout generations. We can't do that when each of the agencies that you all represent decide that, well, we're just going to show you the relevant information. We're not even going to answer your questions. You can't see those documents. That's the way a banana republic acts. It's not the way the United States of America acts. And I don't expect to have to issue a subpoena to see unclassified information. Will the FBI provide Congress all of the 302s?
All of the 302s, we have one set that you've been provided already. The rest of them are coming through the FOIA process.
Wait.
Yep.
We're not, FOIA process? You mean I got to fill out a FOIA request?
You can. Not necessary.
When, here's the problem. You handpicked the 302s to give to us. My understanding of discussion with staff, and I appreciate your accessibility with the staff. You've been good, and you're new, and for your first time hearing, this is a tough one, but the reality is you should give us all the 302s.
So let me say this. I think the director made principled decisions about what to say to Congress when he was here and also what to provide to Congress. As far as
Wait, where do I find that? Do we just let everybody in government decide that they're based on their own individual principles? That's what see, it's trust but verify is how it works. You don't get to decide what I get to see. I get to see it all. I was elected by some 800,000 people to come to Congress and see classified information. I was elected by my colleagues here to be the chairman of this committee. That's the way our Constitution works. Will the FBI provide to Congress the full file with no redactions of personal identifiable information?
I cannot make that commitment sitting here today.
Then I'm going to issue a subpoena, and I'm going to do it right now. So let's go. I've signed this subpoena. We want all the 302s, and we would like the full file. You can accept service on behalf of the FBI?
Certainly.
You are hereby served. We have a duty and a responsibility. You can cite no precedent, nothing in the Constitution, no legal precedent. You know this is important to us. You now have your subpoena. We would all like to see this information.
And the other level, I'll let you begin it, Sara, that Alpha Bank is asking the Justice Department to help unmask where the pings are coming from. They believe it's in the United States, correct?
That is correct. They believe it's a third party masking these pings, that they're connected to a server inside the United States. And think about this, Sean. They are asking, a Russian bank is asking the U.S. Justice Department to investigate this. They were hacked 3 times this year. This is how they figured this out. Because in February, there was a hacking. Then in March 11th and March 13th, they were hacked again. But they were able to trace this. So now they've gathered this evidence, and they are willing to share it with the Justice Department. That's what our sources have told us, that they are going to share all this evidence with the Justice Department in the hope that they'll find out who is doing this hacking.
All right. John, I want you to weigh in on this, because we don't know for sure if the other 2 hacking attempts that this bank dealt with, which kind of led to and snowballed into this investigation in the first place, right? We don't know if it's the same as the recent hacking attempts, do we? But do they suspect it was also outside of Russia, in the United States, that it could have happened?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So talking to people close to the new investigation, the bank last year thought, listen, this was just simple computer communications going on when spam email hits a server and it bounces back and says, I don't want your spam email. They're now beginning to rethink that, thinking maybe there was a hacker all along trying to create a political hoax, trying to create the impression that there was something nefarious going on. So take a look at this story's evolution. A week before the election, headlines that Donald Trump has a secret computer connection, a backdoor way of talking to the Kremlin. Then we find out it's perpetrated by someone or advanced by someone that has a Hillary Clinton sentiment and pushing the story. Now we find out maybe the whole thing could be related to a computer hoaxer trying to create the impression of it. Now that's how the story's been evolving over this last week.
So the bottom line is we do have our intelligence law enforcement have looked into it. They have found 0 evidence. Now, there was the WikiLeaks revelation that shows that the CIA has the capability, and I'm not accusing them, but they have the ability, the technology, where they can take malware, Russian malware, et cetera, and they can actually be the hackers within the CIA, but put the fingerprints of the hacking on China, Iran, Russia, or any other country. So we know this technology exists. Sara, right?
Now, Infowars.com correspondent Roger.
Alex, Washington, D.C. is reeling not only because of the revelations by John Solomon and his colleagues at The Hill. Solomon is a solid reporter. He is the guy who originally broke the story with Sarah Carter about the super secret FISA court confirming that the Obama NSA spied on roughly 30,000 Americans for political espionage purposes in violation of the law and the Constitution.
And you know who you are, Republicans. In fact, I think we've got Republican Senators Tim Scott and Cory Gardner. They're in the House, which reminds me, security, bar the doors. Judge Merrick Garland, come on out. We're going to do this right here, right now. It's like the Red Wedding.
Should, in fact, this video be authentic, it's just one more indication of the viciousness and barbarity of this organization. And it also just indicates the degree to which whatever ideology they're operating off of, it's bankrupt. We're here to talk about how to make people healthier and make their lives better.
Obamacare is great, and it's really working. Sign up now.
I have 2 words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
We need to start out with some key information. Last time when myself and you were on, we brought up the HRC, Huma Abedin, Barack Hussein connection. That set off some alarm bells, and everybody knows what's gone on there with the researchers. Now, I'm going to drop some information that will make the Snowden stuff look like snowflakes compared to the avalanche that I'm about to unleash, because the stuff I'm privy to is very important, and at this point, this is a duty to kind of relay it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. You know, when it comes to this Fast and Furious thing, when it comes to this radical Islamic thing, let's look at one individual in particular, which will bring it all down. That individual's name is Anwar al-Awlaki. Anwar al-Awlaki, the American, the New Mexico-born, Colorado State-educated, George Washington University-educated Anwar al-Awlaki, the influencer of Major Nidal Hassan at Fort Hood. That Anwar al-Awlaki is a major point in this. This Islamic threat is fabricated. You know, you have the FBI and you have the NSA days after the attack at Fort Hood coming out and saying,
he could talk to them in an American vernacular with arguments that they understood.
Wow, he was talking with Anwar al-Awlaki. So let me get this straight. You have this information 2 to 3 days after this Fort Hood massacre there. How would you have that information 2 to 3 days later?
Well, later came out that the CIA knew he was talking to him for 2 years.
Oh, well, not only talking to him, they've presented Anwar al-Awlaki as a Yemenis cleric who is inciting violence with the United States. No, Anwar al-Awlaki was born in New Mexico. Anwar al-Awlaki was an intellectual. Anwar al-Awlaki was educated at the university in Colorado State and George Washington University. This is critical. Okay, this is very critical because this was all a setup, and they went too far here, and I witnessed it. So this is all going on while Fast and Furious is going on, where they're taking weapons from Fort Bliss and El Paso, moving them across the border into the Kingdom of Morocco, through the Sahara, in Algeria, eventually making their way to Libya, where they will defeat Gaddafi's reign there and create ISIS. So this is deep. These are not.
Well, that's what Tosh Plumley, the CIA whistleblower, had said here. Was his info he broke down accurate from what you know?
Yeah, it was pretty accurate, but I was witness to it. I know exactly what happened there. And it's not a secret. People blew the whistle in Morocco, and the DST commander in Morocco.
Sure, just to boil it down, why was Obama arming the Muslim Brotherhood and arming radical jihadists to destabilize moderate Muslim states?
Right. So destabilizing moderate Muslim states and also creating ISIS to wreak havoc, as we see in the world today. So this is not a blind eye. This is Black Ops. This was CIA. This was funded by the highest powers that be reigning in our country at the time. So this is why this is so critical. I mean, you know, we do have a radical Islamic threat, but we need to realize where the funding comes from and who's really involved. And it's the left and it's the deep state, without question.
Absolutely. That's what the evidence shows. And it appears Trump is trying to actually cut that off and end that and make deals to actually try to stabilize the Middle East again. But that McMaster and others are double-crossing, still trying to go back to the old game right under Trump's nose.
It's absolutely unbelievable. And since the Trump administration has, you know, been in office, since some of the power positions have changed, we've seen incredible changes reach around the world. I'm just saying by firsthand information, when this information actually comes out, and I'm kind of hinting at some things without getting into anything very classified, but, you know, Fast and Furious was ran by our country. Fast and Furious is what created ISIS. There's just no way around it. This just wasn't saws. This just wasn't M4s. This was shoulder-fired weapons. This was artillery. This was everything. This was a standing up of ISIS.
Sure, and that was Obama and the EU and the globalists from all our research and our sources. Now you see the info coming out about arming Hezbollah as well. I mean, why is that suddenly coming out in all places Politico?
Today I am joined by researchers who invent some of the most advanced metals on the planet, designers who are modeling prototypes in the digital cloud, folks from the Pentagon who help to support their work. Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man. I'm going to blast off in a second. This has been a secret project we've been working on for a long time. Not really. Maybe. It's classified.
I said, you want to repeal health care? Go at it. We'll have that debate. But you're not going to be able to do that by nickel and diming me in the budget. You think we're stupid?
The Barbarian Horde!
Anyone here been in the army?
Yes. I served with you at Bindabana.
You can help me. Whatever comes out of these gates, we've got a better chance of survival if we work together. Do you understand? If we stay together, we survive.
Pleased to bring you the Legionnaires of Scipio Africana!